So in today's lesson, we're going to talk about recognizing and extending arithmetic sequences. Now, when we start talking about an arithmetic sequence or a sequence in general, a sequence is just a list of numbers that follow a rule. And then each number in that sequence is called a term of the sequence. So, for instance, we could have 1, 3, 5, 7. This would be a sequence. And then a term of the sequence would be 1 is a term, 3 is a term, 5 is a term, 7 is a term. So if we refer to a certain type of sequence as an arithmetic sequence is just a sequence that has a constant difference between two consecutive terms, and that's called the common difference. So, for instance, if I had something like the 1, the 3, the 5, the 7, this would be an arithmetic sequence because in between each one of these is a common difference of 2. So each one of those is we're adding 2 each time, so that would be a common difference, which would make it an arithmetic sequence. So let's take a look at example 1 here. So in example 1 is just asking for whether we need to determine if a sequence is an arithmetic sequence, and if it is, we need to find the common difference. So if we had 7, 12, 17, and 22, we see that 7 and 12 is plus 5, 12 and 17 is plus 5, and 17 and 22 is plus 5. So this would be an arithmetic sequence, and our common difference would be 5. Now, if we took a look at another one, we have 3, 6, 12, and 24. We have plus 3, plus 6, plus 12. Now, this is still a sequence, it's just not an arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence, again, is one that has a common difference. And so here you see we have 3, 6, and 12. None of those are in common. In order for it to be common, it has to be the same number. So 3, 3, 3, and 3. But 3, 6, and 12 is not going to be a common difference. Now we have a formula we can use to find an arithmetic sequence. So we're going to have a of n equals a of n minus 1 plus d. And in this case, a1 would be considered our first term. And then d is our common difference. So in the last one you saw we had 5 will be our common difference. And then n is just a term number, so any number inside the sequence. So this is our formula. We're going to use this formula for any time we're trying to determine an arithmetic sequence. So let's take a look at example 2 here. It says use a recursive formula to find the first 4 terms of an arithmetic sequence where the first number or first term is -2 and the common difference is 7. So we'll write our formula up here and we're going to just plug it in is all we're going to do. So first thing we'll do is we'll plug in our 7 and we go back to our first term. Our first term was -2 plus 7. So it means our second term, we need to find the first 4 terms. So we know our first term is -2, and we need to find our third and our fourth term. Well, we take our n to the a to the nth here, right here. We're actually looking for our second term. So we put in our first term plus 7 would give us 5. Then we want to find our third term. We would just put in the 5 plus 7 and get 12. And we want to find our fourth term equals, take our last term, 12 plus 7, and we get 19. So our arithmetic sequence here would be -2, 5, 12, and 19. Now if we wanted to find the nth term, so an unknown term of a sequence, we have a formula for that one as well. So we have a of n equals our first term plus n being some term in the sequence minus 1 times our difference. So again, that's a to 1 here would be our first term, and d is our common difference. So if we want to plug those in, we want to get some kind of example, we could plug those numbers in and figure out what an answer would be. So for example, we want to use example 3. Use the rule a of n equals 6 plus n minus 1 times 2 to find the 4th and 11th term of the sequence. So all we need to do is find our 4th and 11th term. We're just going to plug in 4 for the n and solve. So we get a to the fourth here would be 6 plus 4 minus 1 times 2. And we'd have 6 plus 3 times 2, and then 6 plus 6, our fourth term, would be 12. Now if we want to take that same formula, let's say it's erase all this, we want to find our 11th term. We're going to do the exact same problem, except we're going to stick, instead of putting in our 6 in, or 4 in, our 4, we're going to stick in an 11. So we're going to have our 11th term is going to be, again, our 6 is our first term, plus 11 minus 1 times our common difference, which is 2. So we're going to take 6 plus 11 minus 1 is 10 times 2. 6 plus 10 times 2 is 20. And we add them together, our 11th term would be 26. So this is how you would find the nth term of a certain arithmetic sequence. So let's take a look at one more example. It says find the 10th term of the sequence 3, 11, 19, and 27. So what we need to do is we're trying to find our 10th term. And equals, remember, our if you go back to your formula, A1 is our first term. Well, in this case, our first term is 3, plus, we're looking for the 10th term. So we're going to put 10 in front of where that n is, minus 1, and then we need to find our common difference here. 11 minus 3 is 8, 19 minus 11 is 8, and 27 minus 19 is 8. So our common difference is 8. So if we want to find our 10th term, we're going to take 3 plus 10 minus 1 is 9, times 8, and then 3 plus 9 times 8 is 72. So our 10th term, we add those two together, would be 75. So again, anytime they give you a certain sequence and say, hey, find the 10th term, you can go ahead and add 8 each time to those. 27 plus 8 is 35, 35 plus 8 is 43, or you could just plug it into the formula and solve the formula in the problem a little quicker.